Wife professed to me that she wanted to go through with a divorce, but now has changed her mind, having trouble understanding why. My wife and I have been married for 22 years and have been together for 24 years. We have 2 children, a boy who is 18 years old and a daughter who is 19 years old. We both committed our lives to our children from the beginning. Neither of us earned much money, yet we still managed to send them through private school. This didn't leave much money or time for my wife and myself to go out and enjoy ourselves. Our children were constantly involved in sports, tutoring, and other activities that took up the majority of our time. There were undoubtedly occasions when our life seemed routine and tedious. We both felt the same way, and we always vowed that when the kids were gone, we would go out to rekindle our marriage. She started telling me around 6 months ago that she isn't sure we are best suited to be married to one another. She said that although we are both amazing parents, we're not the finest husband and wife. Her remarks upset me a lot, but it's pointless to strive to love someone who doesn't love you back. We'd promised that we would divorce when our kid graduated from high school. We spoke about it a lot, and when she realized we weren't meant to be, she remarked, "You know, I don't believe I ever had the hots for you, but you look like a loyal, dependable person." This hit me hard. I'm not the most attractive person in the world, but I'm fit, tall, and quite muscular. So I was taken aback when she said this. I began to feel less and less for my wife over time. I stopped thinking about my imminent divorce as regretting the loss of my marriage, but rather as beginning a new period of my life. I had achieved my aim of raising intelligent, successful children, and I can now go on with my life. I wasn't unhappy when I left my parents' house to go to college. In fact, I was very eager. So I channeled that zeal and enthusiasm into my own life as I transitioned to the next chapter of my life as a single person. It's strange, but even the coming divorce gave me a lot of internal joy and excitement. I began to become a more friendly person. I knew I'd have to start dating again someday, so I set about preparing the groundwork for once I got divorced. During the marriage, a large part of my identity revolved on being a parent and a family guy. That began to alter as I became more and more myself, if that makes sense. I was making new acquaintances, mostly female ones. I didn't consider this to be cheating, since it was nothing I wouldn't do if my wife was there. Things were going well in my social circle, and my new alterations were attracting a lot of attention from the ladies there. They are all married. I overheard my wife telling a friend about my newfound swagger and charisma. Surprisingly, this occurred after my wife informed me that she didn't have the hots for me. This is when I believe she began to develop feelings for me. For the most of our marriage, I had to initiate since my wife assumed it was the man's responsibility. It was a hit to my confidence when she informed me she didn't have feelings for me, so I cut down on initiating significantly. This is when my wife began to exhibit aggression that I had never seen before. We used to have 3 times a week, but now we do it around 10 times a week. When both of my children are up and alert, my wife will take my hand and lead me away to the bedroom. She recently informed me that she no longer wants to divorce and instead wishes to work on our marriage. I'm not sure why, but this makes me angry. Despite the fact that we don't have any troubles in our marriage, I was looking forward to the divorce. As cheesy as it may seem, I was looking forward to sleeping around, and I had a few of females set up. Another unusual thing I've seen is how my wife's sentiments have shifted. I had a sneaking suspicion she was having an affair long ago. I caught her telling a falsehood about a coworker's present. One of my thoughts is that she was having an affair and wanted to seek a divorce so she could get back together with him. Their love quickly collapsed, and she is now contemplating divorce. Aside from that one lie, she hasn't done anything to lead me to assume she was having an affair. My wife, on the other hand, would know how to disguise her traces if she had an affair. Another problem is that I'm perplexed by her attitude toward me, and she told me she didn't have feelings for me before, but now she can't take her hands off me. Did she say it and then feel horrible about it? So she's attempting to make amends. But if that's the case, why do we still have so much? Does she still have feelings for me? If so, what is the source of the problem? I haven't become any healthier, dropped any weight, or done anything else to improve my physical condition. I haven't received a promotion, but I've been happy. But it is mostly directed at other people. My attitude toward her has most likely deteriorated. I'd say I got more aloof, sardonic, and teasing. There are a lot of things going on that I don't understand, and I'm really seeking for some outside perspective. As of today, I want to divorce, thus there may be a prejudice in the way I provide facts. Story 2. How do you define cheating? I believe that many individuals have various ideas on what constitutes and does not constitute cheating. I'm asking others out of curiosity. I'll add my 2 cents as well. Include your age, gender, what you perceive to be cheating, and if you believe certain kinds of cheating are acceptable, and if so, which types. Also, I inquire since my partner, 30 and I 31, seem to have opposing viewpoints, which I was unaware of until forced to face a problem. We've been together for 2.5 years, lived together for a year, considered rings and saved for one, and so on. I chose to do something you're not permitted to do a few weeks ago. I had a glance at his phone. I'd had an unsettling sensation for a long that he was paying attention to someone else, and despite talking to him about it, his replies didn't seem to calm my nerves. Conversations between him and a very gorgeous younger lady, 24, who is pals with his younger sister struck me as incredibly wrong. The communication included naked images from each of them, discussion of what they'd want to do with one another, and even my schedule so she'd know when I was home and he couldn't communicate. They discussed getting together but never made preparations. I approached him about the situation, and he said that it was not cheating, and he swiftly put a stop to it since it didn't seem right. I disagree and believe that, although I'm able to move on from it, partially because it never came to fruition and partly because this chat occurred about a year ago, simply talking that way with someone other than yourself while in a committed relationship is a kind of infidelity that clearly generated some friction in the relationship. Well, a few weeks after that confrontation, I discover he's been conversing with an old high school pal on a regular basis. I usually don't mind his having female pals, but this looked a bit more than friendly. There's nothing about it, but he speaks to her in the manner I want he would speak to me. He's quite open with her, yet he may be distant with me at times. I questioned him about it and inquired if he had emotions for her. He denied having affections for her and claimed that he's known her since they were 14, and that she was there for some of the life-changing events that occurred throughout his adolescence. He added that it's sometimes easier to speak to her since she was there to see things that occurred in his life, so she understands instead of thinking he's having a pity party when he talks about it. To some degree I understand, yet I can't help but feel frightened by it. He claims she's nothing to be concerned about, and that, although they did have crushes on one another when they were younger, she now lives in another state, has a child, and is in a relationship. I believe I'm simply jaded from past improper chats with the other female, but it's still a bad feeling. He believes that cheating only occurs when there is actual. However, I believe that cheating can be emotional or physical, and that some online behavior can be classified as cheating. To me, cheating occurs when you seek the same attention from someone of the you're attracted to as you should from yourself, and giving that attention, essentially stepping outside of the relationship, whether online or in person, to fulfill needs/desires or give attention that should be reserved for the rehe now. It's why I feel betrayed after hours and hours and days of talking and sobbing, even if he still doesn't think it's cheating. I'm certain it won't happen again, and I really believe the high school buddy didn't anticipate I'd be so concerned about him. I essentially told him that if he feels the need to keep anything from me, he should probably leave our relationship first or choose not to do whatever it is, to which he agreed. We're working things out, and things are gradually improving now that everything is out in the open. Anyway, that's why I'm wondering what you consider to be cheating. So, as a quick response, here's an example of mine. 31F cheating is defined as moving outside the relationship, in secret, to meet emotional and/or physical demands that would normally be reserved for just your significant other. What is forgiven? Inappropriate internet activity, a drunken one-night stand. I don't believe I could forgive myself for having emotions and having a relationship with someone else.